Hello, everybody. This is Omar Liles, the life and mental health coach here on ATS. And basically, what I'm going to be doing is just talking about biblical counseling versus professional counseling versus coaching and the qualifications of what it is to actually become one. I myself have gone through some training as going through mental health coaching classes and biblical counseling and things of that particular nature. So, what I'm going to do tonight is that I'm just going to actually do a webinar or a short PowerPoint lesson to each and every single one of you. And I'm not going to be that long. So, hopefully, that you'll actually get something out of it. Okay. So, that's what I'm basically going to be discussing here tonight. So, let me get ready. I'm just going to go straight to it. And everybody out there in ATS land from Andersonville, I just want to let you know that I'm very grateful for each and every single one of you for having me do this here tonight. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go straight to it, okay? Now, okay, here we go. All right, let's come in here. All right, here we go. So, professional counseling versus biblical counseling, counseling versus coaching. My name is Omar Liles. I'm a certified dementia practitioner and a mental health coach. We specialize in biblical counseling. I'll be getting my other credentials from American Association of Christian Counselors through Light University, and I'm also a certified life coach. Okay, so that's just a quick introduction. So now I'm just going to talk about how to actually become a licensed professional counselor. This is not my area of expertise, but this is from my research that pretty much I have done. Applicants must submit proof of active practice for at least about 3 years previous to an application. And they also have to have a master's from an accredited program from a college or university. They have to do somewhere around 4,000 hours of work experience over a period of time. And they also have to take a national clinical exam in mental health counseling, licensed by their specific state. In certain states, there are hours of clinicals as well for experience, and that ranges somewhere between 2,500 hours to like 4,000, some 3,000, some around 3,500. But pretty much the training is pretty much the same. Okay. Uh, how to become a biblical counselor. And there are a number of organizations where becoming a biblical counselor, the training varies from organization to organization. I didn't get a chance to label all the actual organizations within this particular group. But biblical counseling is not a state license form of therapy or counseling, professional counseling, I would say. And so, being a biblical counselor does not mean that you're qualified to offer any sort of formal counseling in terms of the DSM models or anything of that nature. I'm talking about in terms of professional counseling. So, training to be a biblical counselor varies from organization. The requirements varies. The training varies. Some require you to have no degree. Some do require you to have a bachelor or a master's in counseling or to have at least experience, and also requires you to have supervision and to take exams as well. So, how to actually, I'm running through this kind of quick because I don't want to be long tonight. So, how to be a life coach, all right? Fact. The coaching industry isn't regulated right now, and anyone can actually become a life coach. On average, a life coach training takes about 6 months to like a year. And part of becoming a coach is learning the coaching skills and practicing coaching actively with others. So the training it varies, and some would consider it much more of an entry level. What the entry level is actually where you have to complete about like 60 plus hours of training and about over 100 hours of coaching experience. And this is basically through the ICF training. Uh, the training varies for coaching and through various other organizations. So you have professional certified coach, you have the master certified coach as well. And so those training it varies. It varies from organization to organization, and you have to have about for the master certified coach, you have to have like 2,500 hours. And the professional certified coach, you will have to have about like 500 hours of client coaching experience. And some of my training, I went through Light University, uh, through the American Association of Christian Counselors. And so they have another partnering organization that's powered by them called the International Christian Coaching Association. So there you had the foundation of mental health coaching skills, mental and behavioral disorders. And so the training differs when it comes down to coaching, and and within these courses there are about like 30 lectures that you would have to review, listen to, and there's quizzes and things of that particular nature. So here it is, the International Christian Coaching Association. Right here are their requirements. You have to do at least 60 educational hours approved by a approved specialist Christian life coach training. You have to do a Christian life knowledge assessment, document a minimum of about like 80 hours of coaching experience, and also document about 5 mentor coaching sessions with an approved ICCA mentor coach. And also being able to document coaching liability insurance, which is very important. And you have to have at least 12 continuing education units, approved specialized Christian life coach training like every 2 years. Every 2 years, you have to go through that, okay? Also, the master professional coach, you have to have 175 hours of coaching experience. Um, so you have to be conscious of any coach or counselor with limited training or any area of coaching or counseling, I would say. Okay, you have to check where they've actually gone to school at. Um, you have to ask where they have actually gotten their credentials from. And also, you want to know their professional background. Where were they licensed from? Where did you get your certification from? Those are just some of the things that you will want to check if you want to know about their training. All right, now let me head to this. I hope that everybody can see this. Um, and so, what is the difference between a life coach, biblical counselors, and licensed professional counselors? I'm going to nail it right here, okay? Life and mental health coaches helps guide clients to reach their goals, and also to focus on individuals who are already competent. All right, they help people who are already competent. They're not focusing on the past. They're focusing on people who are already mentally stable, so they can help them with their future goals. Biblical counselors, they counsel straight from the Bible. They're able to give spiritual insight from a biblical perspective. And some training, they do integrate their secular perspective, but they sort of like understand it. They don't actually implement it. So I think sometimes that's the misconception. And then you have the non-integrationists, where they pretty much just teach straight from the Bible, and they just give spiritual counseling literally straight just from the Bible itself. And and that's okay. All right, counselors and therapists. All right, uh, many of them diagnose depending on the counselor and their expertise and the level of certification or license that they actually have, because not all counselors can diagnose or do some of the things as other professional counselors can do. And so what they do is that they dig into their past of any areas of grief, trauma, coping, or depression. And so pretty much that's what they do. All right, now let me just move on here. And so what life, biblical, and Christian counselors and uh, mental health coaches cannot do. All right, under the law, coaches cannot do any of the following. They cannot bill their services to health insurance companies. They're not lawfully able to do that. Use the DSM model, diagnose or treat mental health conditions, and describe their services using any of the terms that the law protects for licensed professionals. All right, you're not to use any terms related to professional counselors because you don't want to confuse the client. And I just want to make this okay. Just because a biblical counselor or coach does not offer any of those things doesn't mean that they aren't legit. All right. Some people feel like because you don't have a license, you're not a legit counselor. Um, they just have to just know to stay in their lane of their scope of expertise, and then that's it. All right. So the golden nugget: mental health and life coaches learn what professional counselors understand, but cannot implement them under the law. I just want to make that straight too. Okay. And so there are two schools of thought. I talked about the integrationists and the non-integrationists earlier. So just to give this a little overview of this, Christian and biblical counselors do not integrate secular training in their counseling. um actually they do integrate, I'm sorry, they do integrate some of the secular training into the counseling education as well as biblical. They don't actually implement it, they just understand much more about it because they understand that world, so they pretty much understand the person that they're actually seeing. The non-integrationists, the Christian and biblical counselors, they believe that you should not integrate any form of secular counseling, but teach straight from the Bible, and that's okay as well. And so here's the thing. I would say to anyone to join a certification organization that will fit your worldview. Whatever works for you, if the Holy Spirit is moving in there, then that's fine. You know, you got organizations like the ABC, the Association of Biblical Counselors. You got the American Association of Christian Counselors, the International Association of Biblical Counselors, and then there's more. There's a number of, also the Association of Certified Biblical Counselors. That's another organization. So it depends on the organization. And so you would want to join an organization that actually fits your worldview. All right, we're almost finished. So this is just going to be real quick. I just want to share this. What are biblical coaches and mental health coaches allowed to practice? Where they actually allowed to practice? They're allowed to practice in churches, nonprofits, ministries. Secular coaches are hired by corporations, businesses, and nonprofits. So these are the spaces in which a coach can actually practice. All right, now let me go here. All right, and then that's it. And that's pretty much the end of our slide. Now let me all right, okay. I'm sure I hope that everybody actually seen the slides. Because if you haven't seen the slide, I apologize. Um I'll try to have it up again next time. I hope that I was able to share it and y'all have actually seen it. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to end it right here. And so I just hope that everybody actually enjoyed this particular session from ATS Fellowship, Andersonville Theological Seminary, um, uh, webinar on professional counseling, biblical counseling versus professional counseling versus the coaching and qualifications. Okay. And then that's it. And then I'll see you at a later time. All right. Have a blessed night.